Hi everyone, my name is Colin and I'm Arraya's content and digital media specialist. So if you're anything like me, Microsoft Teams has become a major part of your workday as of late. And recent numbers from Microsoft suggest that many of you are, as the company reports that Teams usage has increased by 70% from last month. So given that kind of growth, it seemed appropriate to talk to two of Arraya's in-house Teams experts. So with me today are Chuck Kiesling, Arraya's Senior Director of Pre-Sales Solutions, and Matt Amato, Arraya's Cloud Solutions Architect. How's it going, guys?
Hey, how you doing? Good.
Going well. Thank you.
Good. All right. So first off, let's talk about how the unprecedented surge in Teams usage, particularly among remote workers, has changed the conversations that you guys are having regarding Teams.
I know for me, I mean, in all honesty, Colin, the conversation really hasn't changed that much. It's been more or less the urgency from organizations involved. But with that being said, I think we're really seeing two categories, like the right now and the right long term. The organizations that included that as part of their DR strategy, it's showing right now. They've come to us and they've required tweaks, adjustments, modifications versus like that all-out deployment. Those who are just rolling it out or testing or didn't see it as a need at the time are focusing on the right now. They're trying to get their people enabled. They are working to maintain that level of productivity that they need to keep the business going. Matt, you spend a lot more time in the field than I do. So I'd be curious your thoughts as well.
Yeah, well, not really in the field recently, obviously, but I have had many conversations about Teams over the last 6 weeks or since this all began. And what we're seeing is we're seeing that customers are jumping into the deep end with Teams forcefully because they have to. But the conversations we're having are around how do I, at this point, I know we're already started to roll out Teams, but what can I do to secure Teams? What can I do to, in terms of governance? Because they're realizing that there's a couple of things that they're missing here. Because when you want to roll out Teams, we want to talk about security first, but sometimes that's not an option. In this case, Teams has been rolled out to users. Now we're double backing and saying, all right, how do we secure it? But the other side of it is adoption. It's custom. It's adopting. It's being able to adopt Teams in a way so that users know how to use the product well.
Let's get you guys to put on your prognosticator caps a little bit. Given the current climate, how do you guys see that changing the way that organizations are going to think about Teams, as well as remote workforces in general in the future?
We're seeing organizations that want to find ways to make use of that licensing that they already own that they weren't using before because maybe they had an overlapping on-premise solution or system, like voice, file storage, archiving, whatever it may be. And, they want to be able to make sure that they're giving that same level of access to the remote teams as they were or still are giving to the on-site teams. So they're going to look at ways to tie that together either through replication or migrating, as an example, of file storage out to SharePoint Online, archiving to Exchange Online, whatever it is, right? Looking to put those things together that way.
It's a myth that workers need to be in-house in the building, to go to work, to be productive, and working at home may not be as productive. But I'm thinking that it's just going to be an eye-opening experience for a lot of folks that aren't used to collaborating and used to the back and forth, sending emails back and forth. That's not collaboration. That's you take a turn, I take a turn. Things get lost in email, and Teams is going to help. Get you out of your inbox and into a collaborative platform.
The impact I think organizations are going to start to weigh is not just going to be about the productivity, because this is proving that the productivity is going to maintain. It's about how can we make a better experience for our employees. And in this situation, if I have an hour commute one way, you're talking 2 hours, and then that's assuming I don't get stuck in traffic. So my 8-hour day now turned to 10.5 hours, and I'm tired when I get home, and I don't want to work on my hobbies or maybe spend as much time with the family, or I might miss dinner. All of those things, these employees are now starting to see a solid benefit of. And if organizations aren't willing to allow the employees to have that type of work-life balance, they may see employees that start looking at where can I get that same balance that I've had.
Yeah, I've already heard customers say that a chunk of their workforce they already know is not going to return back to the office, and they're going to stay remote because it just makes sense. So I've been hearing that.
Yeah, we'll definitely see how all of this starts playing out in the weeks and months to come. So if anyone wants to learn more about Teams or connect with Chuck and Matt, you can do so through the Arraya website. I want to thank you guys both for joining me today.
Thank you.
Absolutely.